Okay. You could have a dangerously low testosterone without even realising it. Are you the average guy who has no enthusiasm throughout his day, no energy throughout his day, no morning wood? No morning wood. I'm going to go through the symptoms signs that you could have a low testosterone without even realising it. When you walk down the street and you see the perfect man, the Giga Chad, Adonis. Stop. I love using that analogy. When you see the perfect man who works out, dresses well, and just is successful in his journey to self-improvement and in his life. When you see him, at his beginning stages, he probably didn't have good genetics. He probably was like you and wasn't the perfect man. He probably didn't have good genetics. He probably had a low testosterone, and he went and figured out why the issues of that low testosterone they had and how to improve it to become the muscular Giga Chad that he is today. So, the average testosterone level between the average guy is around 300 nanograms per deciliter. And then some of you might not have no idea what that number means. I mean, when I did a test, I was around a bit above 400, and a few months ago when I tested, and you might be like, whoa, 300, 400, that's so much. No, it's around the lower end of the spectrum. My guy, that is not that high. That's the average guy. That's the testosterone of the average guy. When you see Adonis, the perfect man, when you see him, do you know what his testosterone levels are? I bet you they are well over a minimal of 900 nanograms per deciliter. A minimal. So, his minimal of the perfect man is over double of the average guy. That's his testosterone levels. And the fact that now people are saying, oh, 300 is now around the average. Bro, that's so fucked. There are guys who have over double that, man. What are you doing? No, this is not the natural average level. It is nowadays because it's been normalised so much, but god damn, people's testosterone levels are low. I think one of the biggest things that I realised that something wasn't right and I had a low testosterone level, and then how I wanted to go and improve it, I think the first sign, very first sign, anxiety. Now, I looked into the science behind it, when all the research, and I'm not gonna lie, I do not understand the science behind it. I read through it, and it doesn't make sense to me, and why anxiety happens due to low testosterone. However, I understand the practical side of it. The actual results side of it, on how I've actually lived my life, makes sense to me. So the actual physical side of it, your testosterone basically pushes you, urges you to pursue your dreams, the higher status, your goals. It pursues you to pursue that higher status. So when you have a low testosterone, you feel lower down in society because you're not seeking out that status. You feel lower down in society, leading to you feeling anxious. I used to walk into a coffee shop, and sitting down in a coffee shop by myself enough was intimidating as it is. And I used to be so worried of what other people were thinking about me. Now I look back and I sit down and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why was I so paranoid? And I realised, yeah, this wasn't right for me. For a young teenage guy being so anxious of what everyone thinks of him, even to the point where he was worried about sitting in a coffee shop by himself. He felt it was weird to sit in a coffee shop by himself. He had to be with someone. That is when I realised, okay, yeah, testosterone is low testosterone. I had a low testosterone and it was fucking up with my anxiety. it makes sense. You pursue your higher status, and if you have a lower testosterone, you don't do that, so you're lower in the society. Or you feel like you are. Second point, second sign. Low muscle mass, high body fat. Say you've been training, and I mean properly training. Like massively, for like a year, you've been sleeping well, you've been eating well, you've been training well, you've been bulking how you're supposed to, you've been doing everything right, you've been taking the measurements of your weight and comparing it to like how you see your progress, you've got physical measurements, and you still feel like you aren't gaining much muscle. You still have quite a high volume of body fat. You've been doing this for a year, and you still don't look much different to when you did a year ago. Your weight still is the same. And if this is the case, because I know that this is when people are going to come in and say, genetics, I'm going to have an orgasm around genetics. So many people get so round up about that. I know genetics does play an important part. I mean, there are some guys who, if I start hitting the gym for a year, and like properly, and I'm hitting the gym now, it's not been a year, it's been a few months, but if one of my friends popped in, never hit the gym before, and he did it for like 2 months, he probably would catch up to how I look in my stage. So yes, genetics is a thing, but that's also not just genetics. Chances are that's probably testosterone as well. Testosterone does play a part. Testosterone can cause, if low testosterone can cause low muscle gain. So if you're doing everything right, perfectly, no bullshit, right, don't lie to yourself, don't lie to me, right, be honest. If you're doing everything right and it doesn't seem to be going your way, something might be off. So go get your testosterone checked out. This one I didn't really find to be common for me. And then the third point. Low sex drive. Or even worse, issues with sex. Yeah, so over 50% of men, over 50% by the way, do not wake up with the morning wood. And do you know what the cause of morning wood is? High testosterone, my guy. High testosterone is a cause of morning wood. It's healthy. Over 50% of guys, adults, do not get this. Bro, my God, I live in the UK, and over half of the UK does not get morning wood. That's a big chunk. You see, the medications that the factories that companies provide for these issues make a fuck ton of money. Because this is such a relevant issue. No sex drive and issues with sex. Higher testosterone improves both of these factors. And, well, one is evident when you have high testosterone, more morning wood is a symptom of that. And I mean, why? I mean, this is. I didn't realise how relevant of an issue this was, because I mean, you're watching this. You're watching things like this because chances are you need it. This is an issue. I mean, some guys have problems when in the middle of sex they can't even keep it keep it going. I mean, people are having issues. Oh, and coincidence, the majority of the average guy's testosterone is 300 nanograms per deciliter, compared to the Giga Chad, who has over double that. You are on the lower end of the spectrum. Your ancestors probably had over fucking triple that, my guy. You are on the lower end of the spectrum, and you are performing not well. I don't think that's just a coincidence. And then the fourth sign that you may have testosterone, if you basically don't give a shit about any of these, and you just want to take one of them away, I'd say this last point I'm going to make is probably the most important. The fourth sign that you could have low testosterone. Sorry about that, guys. Hard work doesn't feel good. Putting in the effort just doesn't feel good. This is a big sign. I mean, you can go... Shut the fuck up. Put the phone over there. One side... Go do... I don't know who's spamming me. It's fucking annoying me. Do a plank right now. Go out, do a plank right now. Plank for a minute, if longer if you can. And during the whole time of that plank, it hurts, yeah, no shit. That's kind of the point. After you've done the plank, after it, who the fuck is messaging me? Shut the fuck up. Sorry, I'll edit this out. That's so annoying. Oh, God. What is it? When you go do a plank, and I mean properly do it, after it, do you feel good? Do you feel really good? Do you feel like, fuck yeah, wah, feel like a Giga Chad, feel like ADONIS? After you've done a workout, do you feel good? After you've gone to that ice bath, that ice shower, do you feel good? After a 30-second sprint, do you feel good? If you don't feel good and you feel shit after all of these, mate, you got a low testosterone, my guy. These things are supposed to make you feel good. When you go do a workout, after you do a workout, you feel fucking amazing. That is how it's supposed to be. You can ask any gym lad out there, why would they keep going to do it if they don't enjoy it? Why would they keep going to the gym if they don't enjoy it? Because they do. After they've done a massive workout, they feel so motivated and they feel so good and proud in themselves, as they should be. So if you don't feel good when you do things that are difficult, chances are you might have a low testosterone because your mind doesn't want to do things that's difficult for its body. It wants to sit and do things only when it's comfortable. If I sat down and only did things when I'm comfortable, which a lot of people do, I'd probably be getting up at midday. Waste half the day. Don't do any of this. Don't film any of this. Don't work out. Don't want to go to work. Don't want to pursue what I want to do. Every time I go out in public, which will be rare, I probably feel like shit because I know people are looking at me and thinking, he looks like shit. Yet I can't be bothered to do anything because I'm comfortable how I am. If that life sounds repulsing to you, then yeah, it should. That's not a good way to live, and yet that's how a lot of people are living. Hard work is important. Putting in the effort when it's hard is so important. And it should feel good after. After you take an ice bath, yeah, it sucks so much during the process, but you feel so good after. One of Andrew Huberman, the scientist, one of his points is when you do things that are pleasurable to you, must come as equal amount of pain. So when you go masturbate fat for like the third time this morning, you feel terrible after. You feel guilty after. There we go. Equal amount of pain. That instant gratification feels good, but then after feels shit. Same thing in reverse. If you seek out pain, you push yourself to the limit on that workout. Yeah, it sucks as you're doing it, but then after comes pleasure. Even more, because you feel you've done something even better. So that's how it works. When you do something that's difficult, after, pleasure comes. And not only does it's a little bit, a load of pleasure. However, if you fap in the morning right now, that instant gratification, that pleasure, yeah, it's a little bit, feels good. But the pain after, God, you feel like shit. Hard work is important. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like, do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. And when you don't feel like it, that's exactly when you should go do it. Love you all and do the best you can.